The first thing I should say is I should extend the warmest and dearest and sincerest thank you to Tef. If you could go and support him on his socials, show him love on his other works as well, that would mean a lot to me. He worked really, really hard. I mentioned that like the entire universe was conspiring to prevent this song from happening, right? And it wasn't just on my end, it was on his end too. It was a nightmare trying to make this happen alongside every complication that was showing up and getting in the way. It was miserable. And he fought so hard with and for me, and that meant a lot to me. I feel like with all the complications that were coming up, a lot of people in his position would have canceled the project or would have suggested that I go to somebody else. So I'm very, very happy and very, very thankful that he was just as unwilling to give up as I was. I will say that more than half of this song is Tef and his work, so I wanted to see if he had anything he wanted to say to you. He sent me this to say on his behalf. He says, quote, "These days, when the days fly by and things don't always go my way, I'm someone who can really easily feel that I'm falling behind. Home is a much needed reminder for someone like me. During times like that, if we bring our best selves and take things one day at a time, we can trust that we'll be all right and we'll always be able to find our way home, whatever that may look like. The world will wait for us." You know, I could just go straight down the line. Thank you to Marku. I think you go by Marcus as well. Thank you to Marcus for your hard work on the mix/master. Everything got in the way of everything being done on my original schedule, and you were so patient with me, and that meant so much to me, so thank you so much. Thank you for fixing everything and making it so beautiful and doing it so quickly. It was so awesome. Thank you to Haruma-sama as well for the beautiful illustration work. I first discovered you because you did work for a cover I was in of Lilac for Nengai Gaoka, Team Nengai Gaoka for the Nijisanji Koshien this last summer. I was so inspired by the illustrations that you did, and I knew the moment I saw them that I wanted to grab you for this. So thank you for taking on this work and for making such beautiful illustrations. And then of course, we have the movie, the music video. This credit goes to the one and only vtuberclips, otherwise known as Clay. Thank you, Clay, for all your hard work and for being so receptive to all my silly ideas and for injecting so much of yourself into it as well. You may get a pattern in my thank yous that everybody was put under a serious rush to get this done, and I think everybody shines so much, and I'm so thankful. Thank you for bringing this to life and giving it such a beautiful visual to accompanying it, to accompany the sound. Please show some love to all of the other members of the team. And a final thank you to the members of Nijisanji EN who agreed to record backing vocals for it. It meant a lot to me that I could have anybody involved from Nijisanji, because in part it was meant to be a love letter to Nijisanji. I wanted to extend my gratitude to this place and to these people for showing me so much kindness and making me feel so much at home. In truth, when I sent out the message saying that I was looking for backing vocalists for a project, I guess I should have had a different expectation because everybody's just so nice, right? But I was just like, I know nobody's gonna reach out. I feel like I'm gonna get maybe 3 people and I'm gonna have to record the rest myself. I did not expect so many people to reach out and to be so enthusiastic about it. And even aside from those that were included in the video, there were several others who reached out and tried, but just weren't able to fit it into their schedule. I appreciate them as well, just for taking interest. So I thank you to them as well for recording it for me. It made me really, really happy to have you involved. It meant a lot to me. My last thank you once again should be to you for all your support, for keeping me going, and for giving me a place that I can be comfortable, a place that I can be myself, and for always being so supportive of my passions and of my interests. You've brought me so much joy in such a short time. I feel like I've already been here 10 lifetimes, even though it's only been 9 months, and I can't help but look forward to everything that comes next. So thank you for everything as well. Even if you did not contribute to this production directly, it would not exist without you. So thank you again. Yeah, I achieved one of my goals. One of the goals I established on debut was to release original music. And I just released an original song. All right, let's get into dissecting the song, shall we? I wrote the lyrics all by myself. I took no feedback. I got no ideas. It's entirely mine, and I was very strict about that. There were a couple moments where I could have gotten advice, where I was stumped. I struggled a bit at a few spots, but it was very, very important to me that for my first one that I wrote all of the words. And I did some of the melody, but not most of it. Most of it came from Tef. But yeah, I wrote the lyrics myself, and I was very intentional. So I'm going to give you the genius lyrics breakdown. The first verse, we talk about my past, my tragic, brooding backstory, my gloomy grayscale memories that you see from time to time on a very rare, infrequent basis. The first lines are about my experiences in the modeling industry, my time before ni ji san ji. It was a very fun time. There were parts of it that I really enjoyed, especially the earlier parts of my career as a model. But near the middle through to the end, it became an experience that I really resented. And I felt very stuck in it. To tell you the truth, I felt like it was the only thing that I could do. I felt like I wasn't worthy of anything else. And it was pretty much the grandest thing that I had access to where I lived. I was stuck in that for a while, even though I didn't really like it. And that's what the first verse talks about. It talks about feeling hopeless and feeling stuck. But eventually, you take that first step out, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say. The past cannot be negotiated, but the future is yours to mold and shape however you like. That's something I've believed for a while. Boom. Yes, this is about my experiences in the modeling industry. Seen it, lived it, loved it. Moving on. We kind of continue that idea of like, oh, there's hope. I'm now optimistic because I'm stepping away from this bad place. But then everything comes to a screeching halt, and now it sucks. How can I get out of this? This sucks really bad. There's like no hope for me. Everything's terrible. I'm not gonna make it out of this. But I'm still gonna be optimistic. Is pretty much the vibe. I'm still gonna keep my head up high. I just need to take some time. You know, if everything's really rough, really busy, the first moment that I have to myself, I just need to rest. I just need to think about it, process it, so that I can move forward. It's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna tell you just why. This lyric here, happy ever after, without laughter never mattered or changed a thing. This was the beginning of the entire song. It's the first thing I wrote, and it came to me instantly when I heard the first demo of this. I mentioned that we started officially in April, but in truth, this song was pitched to me as a demo a long time before. And the moment I heard the demo, I knew that that was the lyric I wanted there. And so the entire song was built around that foundation of those two lines in a row. Just those two lines. They came to me instantly, like a flash from the future. I saw it as a vision. As long as you believe it, you know you'll see it. You can build a radiant dream. I think that, to kind of dissect that part, it is a very common belief that you're supposed to be born with a purpose. A lot of people, when they do not have a purpose, automatically they feel directionless and bad. They feel like they've done a bad job because they don't know where they want to go or what they want to do. But I do not think dreams are given to you. I think you make them yourself. I think you make your own purpose in this life. I think you have to have your own vision, and you have to work for your own vision. And if you don't have one, that is okay. And I personally think it's a good thing. I think if you do not have any dreams and any goals, that's just fine, because that means you've got the entire world of things to choose from. That is like the most beautiful, clean slate you can have to paint over. And that's the idea of the chorus. The entire idea is that it's okay if you don't have a purpose. It's okay if you don't know where you want to go. If you just hold out and wait and give your best effort in most things, you will find something that brings you joy. That is my life philosophy. And that's what I wanted to communicate with the chorus. Pretty much the entire thing. The final line, smiling because I finally found a star to follow me home, is a reference because I wanted to be something like Polaris for you. I wanted to become a guiding star type figure so that you would never feel lost. Even if I was also lost, we could just both be lost, and that's also fine. In time, I found that you are very much like that for me. Anytime that I am feeling nervous and unsure of where I want to go or what I want to do, I find a lot of comfort thinking about the idea that even if I make a big mistake, or even if I really need to rest after something, even if I have no idea where I want to go or what I want to do, you will still show me kindness. Your kindness has been so consistent and unconditional, and it means very, very much to me. And so as I find myself in this new place as a liver here in ni ji san EN, I feel that I have found a home, a place to stay long term. And I do feel that you are kind of guiding me along this journey that I'm taking here. That's the idea. Second verse. You don't want to run out of time. Carbon copy life comes a dozen a dime, but we're gonna fly. You'd better aim for a higher target. Just take my hand, we're heading for the sky. There are a couple of things to mention about this. You may have noticed that I have the repetition motif in the verses for the first line of each one. I gotta run, run, run away. You don't want to run, run out of time. Sometimes when I'm nervous, I have this stutter that shows up. I can stammer and stutter a little bit when I don't know exactly how I want to formulate my thoughts, and when I'm stressed and when I'm nervous. So for these lyrics that are about times of stress, I thought it would be very corny for sure, but it would be a nod to that, a subtle nod to that, to have words repeat in a thought that is scared or distressed. This one flips it around though. Rather than talking about myself, it's like you don't want to run out of time and you feel like your life is just going to be copy paste, cookie cutter like everybody else's. Super cheap to live a very boring, basic life of doing nothing. But we aspire to greater things. We aspire to smiling and having fun. And also having bad times, and that's okay too. Those are necessary, I guess, but you know, we aspire to living a life that we're proud of. It doesn't actually matter what you do. What matters is the outlook. And it's not very healthy to walk around feeling like you're constantly running out of time. Our time is finite here on Earth. But if you spend all your time sitting around thinking about how much little of it you have left, you're not really going to enjoy any of it. The best way to enjoy it is to think, I have so much time, you know? I've got so much time to play with and so many things that I could do. That's how you enjoy it, I think. That's what works for me. Easier said than done. All these things are easy said, but not so easy done. But that's the idea here. I don't know. Rather than aspiring to do impressive things, you know, you don't have to be an accomplished surgeon or a superstar or anything like that to live a life that you're proud of. It's all about the mindset. We're heading for the sky. So because the lyric is just take my hand, we're heading for the sky, the melody gradually goes up. Like you're actually heading up for the sky with the melody there. That was one of my ideas. Second thing to mention is that that is a reference to one of my lines in By the Beat's debut original song, Satellite. In the final chorus, there's a lyric I go, take my hand and follow us up to the sky. It's a reference to that lyric and to that line. So it's kind of like a full circle moment. Even if you feel hopeless, if you just open your eyes, take a moment and look around, you know, take in what there is, everything this world has to offer. Really sit and appreciate that. You'll find something that will make you feel safe eventually, even if it takes time. And sometimes it will take time. It usually will. It can take months, it can take years to find that for yourself, but it's out there somewhere. You just gotta hold out until the day that you find it. That's the idea here. And then we get to the second pre-chorus. In any role, in any cast, the script may lead to a faded past. When I was at my worst, there were a lot of times where I felt like the entire world was a stage play, and everybody else had scripts and rehearsals, but I didn't. I felt like everybody knew exactly what they were doing and how they should behave and what they should do and what they should say. They all had these perfected scripts and all the time in the world to practice, and I felt like I was not given the same thing. I was not given the same experience, is what I felt at the time. I had a very pessimistic outlook when I was younger of just like not being as good as everybody else or as worth it. So I tried to parallel that same idea of relating life to a stage play, referring to words like roles and casts and scripts. And, you know, just like with the rest of the song, the moment I present a negative idea, I gotta punch it down into nothing, punch it into the ground with my fist, and then stomp on it and spit on it for good measure. Because there's still hope, and hope lasts just about as long as you need it to, and as long as you want it to. You are the one that decides how long you can hold out hope. And you can always choose to have hope again if you've lost it. It can be so hard. It is one of the hardest things in the world to have hope sometimes, but I sincerely believe that everybody can have it. In times of pain, in times of doubt. There's still a rainbow to lean on. Just look around. This is a reference to Niji Sanji. We are the Rainbow Clock Company, as you may know. Fate is waiting inside to rise in a shout. Let it out. So the idea here, reaffirming the same thing I said earlier, right? I don't believe in fate in the traditional sense. I think fate is something that you create for yourself. I think you decide and sculpt your own destiny. Sometimes life does not give you the same tools to sculpt your own fate as other people. It can be 10 times as hard for one person compared to somebody else. But I still think that it is in your power to sculpt your own life and to, you know, build a life that you want and that you're proud of. So that's the idea here. And then let it out, you know. Sometimes you just need to yell. That's all. Sometimes you just need to feel a little heavy and just scream and cry and kick and whine and mope. And then you can feel better after. When I was writing the lyrics, I thought it'd be kind of cute to include a Morse code rhythm lyric. So the lyric, try it again. We haven't seen the end. If you sing it the right way, it sounds like dit 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 dot 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 dit. It spells out the word home. So the completed lyric there, I know it says try it again, we haven't seen the end, but the full lyric is actually another day awaits and it's calling us home is the lyric there. The whole idea there, it's that yeah. The idea for this lyric is that, you know, sometimes you hold out hope and the world punishes you for it. The world makes you feel like you shouldn't have hope. But, you know, even when everything feels like it's over, just like in a video game, most of the time, life will still allow you to start over, right? You can just kind of have a clean slate. Anytime you see the word heart show up, it's a by the beat reference, just at any point. Open your heart to brighter and warmer days. The world will wait and nothing stays the same. The idea here is that there is a good time out there, but you have to be open to it. You have to be willing to accept it, and you have to be willing to wait for it. And then we get to the final end of the chorus. I know that I'll never be alone. At this part, I really wanted to extend the ending section. I made a request to Tef. I was like, hey, can you give me like this many more bars? Can you give me some more measures to work with? And he was like, oh, say less, Caelix. I got you. And he made some delicious chords there. It was so scrumptious. And I just kind of extended that a little bit. I'll never be alone. Ever room to grow. You know, nothing stays the same. We all grow and change, and that never really stops. People will argue that, you know, you stop growing at 25. Your brain is fully developed and calcified, so there's nothing left for you to learn. But I think you continue growing. I think when you hit 50, you're still growing. I think when you hit 70, you're still learning. I think this is a life of growing and learning. And accepting that is kind of like opening yourself to the idea that there's still more out there for you to see and to experience and just to know, to learn. Pressured, but I know that nothing can stop my charge into the cold. Even if there's pressure on the outside, even if people are judgmental of my lifestyle or of my mindset, of the way that I express myself, the way that I talk, the way that I sing, anything. If people are judgmental, sure, it's out there, but, you know, they can't stop me. I march to the beat of my own drum. This is my ship, and I'm the captain. And I frankly, I don't give a gaff. Smiling because I finally found a star to follow me home. And that's a repetition of the lyric from before. Idea is that, you know, I once felt very directionless, but now I'm in a place where I know pretty much where I want to be, and I know where I want to go. And there's still stuff that I don't fully know about that. There are still things for me to discover and to learn, but all things considered, I'm pretty set as far as like how I want to live the next stretch of my life, the next several to many years. And I do have you to thank for that. So thank you again. Because this one is a letter that I've written for you, I wanted to be absolutely sure that you would understand what I meant by it, because it's a bit corny. So I wanted to make sure you understood exactly what I wanted with it. So I decided I would explain everything.